All right, everybody ready? All right, here we go. Mayor Jane Castor, we are here to talk about hurricane preparedness. As all of you know, hurricane season starts June 1st, and so we are literally just a couple of days away from this hurricane season. And come before you today, not with fear of what we have gone through, but pride in the way that our community responded to both Helene and Milton. As many of you have heard me say, born and raised here 65 years, and I've never seen the likes of either of those two hurricanes, and they hit us within 13 days of each other. And so it was unprecedented time for the Tampa Bay region, and I'm proud of the way that our teams stepped up and stepped forward. We picked up the debris that was left behind by both Helene and Milton in record time, ahead of the deadline, almost a month ahead of the deadline. And as you have also heard me say, we picked up enough debris to fill what's the Rivergate Tower, which is known to most as the beer can building, 4 times over. And so a lot of effort went into it. Our amazing first responders handled 15,000 calls during that period as well, going out, rescuing people, putting their lives in danger to help our community. Knowing that we recovered on the outside, everything looks great in our city. We've had a number of conventions and conferences and other events in our city since Helene and Milton. And the one question everybody asks me is, where's the hurricane? What happened? Because on the face of it, it looks like we are fully recovered. But we know that there are literally hundreds of people just within our city, not to mention the entire Tampa Bay area, that are still trying to rebuild their lives. And so we are here. We're still focused on that from the permitting standpoint, and also helping with FEMA and with insurance to the degree that we can. So what are we doing differently in preparation for this storm season? We have historically had the luxury of going out, sending our resources to other areas that have been devastated by hurricanes. And so this was a first for us. We were able to learn lessons and then also realize some new best practices. And for the most part, just tune up our response plans, and we've done that. Some things that we learned in the debris pickup, some other lessons that we learned about assignments, individual team assignments in our response plan. Mostly what was underscored is that you have to be very fluid and adaptable. And so that's something that we continue to be here today. Some concrete steps that we've taken every year before hurricane season in preparation. Our stormwater team, in conjunction with other team members, go out and make sure that all of our storm drains, ditches are cleared out, any debris is taken out of those facilities. To date, our stormwater team has removed over 500 tons of debris from our stormwater systems. We brought McDill 48, the stormwater solution for south of Gandy. We brought that online last year. As a result, many homes didn't flood during Helene or Milton. So the stormwater approaches do work. The problem is they take a great deal of time and clearly are very, very costly. So we're continuing to make sure that we clear out our stormwater drains, the ponds. We have systems where our stormwater ponds, even before a heavy rain, are drained down, and all of that is tracked through what we call the SCADA system. And so we can see when those ponds are being lowered. We let water across the dam into the Hillsborough River to make sure that there's no flooding upriver as well. So a lot of preparation for our teams. We also hold tabletop exercises. And I know Chief Tripp from the emergency manager will talk about some of those exercises that we do so that everyone knows their role in the city of Tampa. That's critically, critically important. So again, we are preparing, so we're asking the community to understand their level of responsibility in preparation as well. You need to do ahead of time what you can. I often say that during these major events or these crises, there are very few things that you can control. So control what you can ahead of time. That means getting an emergency kit. All this information is available at tampa.gov/hurricane to tell you what should be in your emergency kit, know your evacuation routes, make sure you evacuate when you're told to. I can't tell you how many hundreds of calls we got as soon as a storm hit. Can you come get me? I'm trapped with my family. I'm trapped with my pets. And of course, our first responders went out. But there are instances where that can't be done, and we don't want to lose lives based on people not evacuating when they should have. So getting those evacuation kits done, trimming your trees, making sure that any debris around your house, patio furniture, those types of things, that you have a plan for all of that. You have gas if you have a generator. The generator's outside whenever you use that. All of that information is at tampa.gov/hurricane. And now, during the sunny skies, is the time to get prepared for that. You don't want to be that guy that is out there at 5 a.m. in the morning trying to get water and toilet paper and everything else off the shelves at the grocery store. Be prepared now. So coming up next is going to be the National Weather Service, who we count on very heavily, meteorologist Jennifer Hubbard.
Hello, Jennifer Hubbard, Warning Coordination Meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Ruskin, and I'm going to talk about the 2025 hurricane season outlook. So on average, we have 14 named storms, 7 of which becoming hurricanes and 3 of which becoming major hurricanes. So that's the average season. The 2025 outlook is calling for a near to above average season. And the numbers with that are 13 to 19 named storms, 6 to 10 of those becoming hurricanes, and 3 to 5 of those becoming major hurricanes. The important thing to remember with this, though, is that that is telling you nothing about where those are going to bring impacts, where they're going to make landfall. And a great comparison between the two is the 2023 and 2024 seasons. In 2023, we had 20 named storms, so well above average. But only 3 of those made landfall, and only 1 was a hurricane at landfall. Unfortunately for us, that was Hurricane Idalia, so we did see impacts with that system. But in contrast, we had the 2024 season, where there were 18 named storms, so not as many as the 2023 season. But unlike the 2023 season, we had 5 hurricanes making landfall in the U.S., and of course, 3 of those impacted our area, 2 of them being major hurricanes with Helene and Milton. So, the 2024 season, much greater impacts, but if you look at just the numbers, it wasn't as many as the 2023 season. The important thing with that is to ensure that you are taking each one by one, tracking them, staying up to date with the latest forecast, because if there's anything we can guarantee, it's that the forecast is going to be adjusted. And then also ensuring that you have the plan in place, you have your hurricane supplies ready to go, and you know what you're going to do if we do get under the gun and are called to evacuate or called to be prepared for those impacts coming our way. Final point I'd like to make is that 85% of hurricane-related fatalities are due to water impacts. So that is both from seawater coming in from the Gulf, as well as that flooding rainfall coming from the sky. So it is imperative, if you are in an evacuation zone, that you listen to your emergency managers and local officials and heed those evacuations if they come. And then if you are living near a river, ensure that you understand the potential impact with all of that rainwater that comes down in a hurricane, where it's going to drain into those rivers, and that impact can last for several days, even weeks. Up in the Withlacoochee River Basin, it impacted them for months. So be prepared, know your limitations of your home, and be ready to evacuate if that order is called. Thank you very much. And next up is Tampa Fire Rescue Chief Barbara Tripp. Thank you.
Thank you. And of course, today we are all here because we're getting prepared. We know this weekend, June 1st, is the start of hurricane season. So the reason we're here, because 2024 was definitely a challenging year. If you were not affected, I'm quite sure you knew someone that was affected by the storm. Even though the storm did not impact us directly, but we were impacted indirectly with the aftermath, even before or after the storm passes. So we're here today to make sure you all understand that we are preparing, and we want you all to prepare as well. With that, the mayor mentioned about preparation. Currently, Tampa Fire Rescue have been having tabletop exercises with local as well as state departments to make sure that we're prepared for this season. We also want you all to be prepared by looking on the website and getting information when it comes to whether it's a hang tag, if you're in a flood zone or evacuation zone. Also, your kit. What is your kit should be, what should be inside of your kit. You know, you should prepare for at least 72 hours. With the storms from last year, we know that the power was out for an extended period of time, and that affected a lot of individuals. We talk about generators. Generators is something that should be used outdoors, not in your garage, in a well-ventilated area that should not be close to your AC to be able to absorb any of the carbon monoxide. We know carbon monoxide is the silent killer. We want everyone, if you do have a generator, invest into a carbon monoxide meter. Make sure that your family is safe. Plan ahead. Get in touch with relatives in the area. Make sure that they're safe as well. This is all preparing you all. Tampa Fire Rescue, along with Tampa Police Department, along with all of the other first responders, are here 24/7 to assist you. But when conditions get harsh, it is a danger for us to come out. So we want you all to make sure you listen to local and state authorities. When it's time to evacuate, please evacuate. We will have multiple shelters open that would be family friendly with pets, as well as your family to be able to come in. Take advantage of that. Don't wait until the end and something happened and you make the statement, I wish I would have left. Make sure to continue to listen to the local authorities as we continue to prepare through the season. Electrical vehicles has been a challenge for many reasons for the fire service as well as with the storms. We know they have the lithium batteries, and of course, if they get on fire, it takes a lot of water to get out. If you have an electrical vehicle, make sure that you try to store that vehicle above ground, higher levels. Sometimes there are garages that are open that you can go ahead and store that vehicle. Do not charge that vehicle when a storm is coming through. We also talked about the hurricane hang tags. You can visit the site, tampa.gov/hang tag, to get information to be able to return to your site with clearance through local law enforcement for that. This Saturday, tomorrow, at Barksdale, we will have a Hurricane Expo. We asking the community to come out. You can get some free sandbags. You can go online and prepare and register to get your sandbags as well. But we will have a lot of vendors out there to help prepare you for this 2025 hurricane season. Once again, we want everyone to be safe, and just know that the city of Tampa is definitely preparing for our community. With that, I'd like to introduce Police Chief Ruth Kate.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Chief Burkhaw, I want to ensure that everybody is aware that the Tampa Police Department is ready and prepared for this hurricane season. I know last year was difficult, and we worked tirelessly along with all of our other city partners to make sure that everybody was safe, including water rescues. We made more than 100 water rescues that saved hundreds of people and even 16 pets. That was very important to the families. Later, after today, you'll be able to see some of our new equipment. We were able to acquire 2 SHRP vehicles, one for the Tampa Fire Rescue and one for the Tampa Police Department. These are all-terrain vehicles that can go from land into water, and they will help rescue people. So we hope that you go out and see those. In addition to that, know your evacuation zones. I know we talked about having your evacuation kits, but be ready to take that evacuation route when necessary. It's going to be very difficult for first responders to get to you once the storm hits, but we will do our best, and we will use our new SHRP vehicles to get there. In addition to that, sign up for Alert Tampa. The mayor told you could go to tampa.gov/hurricane. You can also go to tampa.gov/alert-tampa, and there's 3 tabs there, one for Alert Tampa, one for Special Needs Registry, and one for Emergency Management. We also would like you to apply for emergency services for Special Needs Registry. This is all confidential. So if you have someone that's on oxygen or someone that we need to know that has some sort of special needs or medical needs, go to the registry and register. And that's all under tampa.gov/alert-tampa. Now I would like to introduce our representative from TECO, Ms. Sherry.
Tampa Electric works year-round in anticipation of hurricane season. We're doing things like trimming trees and inspecting and installing stronger poles. We're also installing some power lines underground in anticipation of power outages. We invest hundreds of millions of dollars a year to make our system more resilient to severe weather. And our storm protection program helps our system in anticipation of hurricanes. It means fewer outages for customers and shorter outages after extreme weather. Since that program began, we have converted more than 200 miles of overhead power lines under the ground, and those investments are working. Outages are shorter and less frequent, and tree-related outages are significantly reduced. Tampa Electric learns lessons from every storm, and last year, of course, was a doozy for everyone here. Since then, we've enhanced our outage map technology to improve its availability and response, even during times of high traffic. We now provide mobile safety orientation for those out-of-state power crews who are coming in to help us. This makes it easier for them to get into the field faster to help restore your power faster. And we also have expanded our flood protection. So for certain key substations, we had planned to install flood walls or raise key equipment, and we've tripled the number of substations. We're going to be doing that based on the response to Hurricane Helene with the floodwaters and the storm surge. We encourage all of our customers to have a personal storm plan. As everyone has mentioned up here, stay connected to Tampa Electric on social media channels and visit tampaelectric.com/storm center for critical electrical tips. I'd now like to introduce Matt Thompson with Port Tampa Bay.
Good afternoon. Port Tampa Bay is your local hub and regional hub of resiliency. We know that at the port we have a very important role in providing those goods and services that you need either pre-storm or post-storm. Each year we prepare by completing our comprehensive emergency management plan. We then execute we exercise our plan, and this year we had our hurricane exercise on May 7th. It was probably our most widely attended exercise, not a big surprise after the last year. We had all the key federal, state, local, city partners in attendance. We got a chance to exercise our plan. They got a chance to exercise their plans as well. Moving into this season, what we want to do is focus a little bit on fuel terminal resiliency. And as each fuel terminal that operates is their own independent company, we wanted to take on a role of supporting them and finding ways to quickly get their resources back here, get their facilities online, and be able to get those fuel trucks and ships flowing again. So a couple of things that we've done in that regard. Just yesterday, we had a meeting at our Port Tampa Bay Hardened site. That's a location outside of a 500-year flood zone. It's located about 6 miles from the port, northeast. We had the fuel terminal operators there, Tico. We talked about power prioritization, how those facilities would get power back, where they could store some of their critical equipment, such as pumps, motors, electronic things that they have to take away from the terminal before the storm to protect it. So in that way, we're trying to make a difference and trying to restore those services even much more quickly this year. And now I'd like to introduce the City of Tampa Hispanic Liaison, Maribel Garrett.
Buenas tardes, un placer estar aquí nuevamente con ustedes. Difícil creer que ya estamos nuevamente en temporada de huracanes, estamos a 2 días del comienzo de la temporada, pero este año estamos un poco más orgullosos de lo que pudimos hacer el año pasado y lo que nuestros residentes lograron hacer para mantenernos a todos seguros. Fue un periodo difícil, pero nos dio muchas lecciones y esas son las lecciones que vamos a continuar aplicando este año. En base a lo que aprendimos de la temporada pasada, hemos hecho mejoras a la infraestructura. Esto incluyó la reparación de acueductos, incluyendo mejoras a las estaciones de bombeo de agua. Añadimos generadores de respaldo a las estaciones de bombeo. Y tenemos empleados trabajando 6 días a la semana, limpiando desagües, y en lo que va de año hemos recogido más y limpiado más de 500 toneladas de escombros, y todo esto en preparación para nuestra nueva temporada de huracanes. Estamos trabajando más inteligentemente y estamos más listos que nunca para ayudar en caso de que surja una emergencia. Queremos pedirle a todos nuestros residentes que por favor el momento de prepararse es ahora. Sepa cuál es su zona de evacuación. Asegure su casa. Mire alrededor. Los compañeros de Tampa Electric nos estaban mencionando que ellos están constantemente podando árboles para asegurarnos que las ramas no caigan en tendedores eléctricos. Así que verifique alrededor de su casa. Tenga los números de teléfonos de emergencia y documentos de emergencia listos en caso de que tenga que evacuar. Manténgase informado de todo lo que está pasando a través de los medios oficiales y sobre todo siga las órdenes de evacuación. Regístrese para Tampa Lista. Tampa Lista es un recurso que le permite a nuestros residentes recibir información directamente en sus teléfonos. El mensaje Tampa Lista, envíe mensaje Tampa Lista, toda una palabra, al número 888-777 para recibir información actualizada en español. En caso de emergencia, ayúdenos comunicándose con sus vecinos. Asegúrese de que sus vecinos están bien. Y si necesitan ayuda y puede prestarles ayuda, por favor, hágalo de esa forma. Así que aprovechen y reconozcan otra vez a sus vecinos. Tenga su plan de evacuación. Recuerde que no siempre hay que ir a un albergue. Si vive en un área de evacuación y decide no seguir las instrucciones de evacuación, tenga pendiente que los rescatistas de primeros auxilios pueden no poder llegar a donde están ustedes. Así que es importante que sigan las órdenes de evacuación. Manténganse en sus hogares. Salga solamente en caso de emergencia. Esto le va a permitir a nuestros rescatistas poder salir a moverse para lidiar con incidentes críticos. Tenga un kit de emergencia. Asegúrese de tener de 3 a 5 días de productos y suministros para usted y su familia. Y recuerde que si tiene mascotas o si tiene niños pequeños, tiene que asegurarse de tener toda esa información y todos esos productos. Y tenga dinero en efectivo. Si se va la electricidad, si no hay electricidad, las ATH, los móviles no van a estar funcionando, así que tenga dinero en efectivo. Y un recordatorio, mañana sábado 31 de mayo, el Departamento de Bomberos de la ciudad de Tampa va a estar llevando a cabo una expo de huracanes, y esta es una oportunidad excelente de recibir información y hablar con expertos en el área de emergencias, de forma que puedan prepararse en caso de que surja una emergencia. And I would like to turn it over to Mayor Castor for any final remarks.
All right. Thank you, Maribel. As you can see, we all are used to working hand in hand to prepare for our community, to prepare for these events, and also to respond if necessary. So having the National Weather Service, the Port, TICO, everybody is in our emergency response center, and we're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or 7 days a week if necessary, to ensure that we are keeping our community safe. But again, we need everyone to do their part. So on your to-do list for the weekend, write down hurricane preparedness and go ahead and get the things that you need for hurricane season this weekend, and then hopefully you don't have to worry about it. As we say every year, we always hope for the best in hurricane season. Knowing that hope is not a strategy, we prepare for the worst. So I'll open it up for questions. The biggest what? The biggest lesson that we learned, I would have to say as a community, the biggest lesson that we learned was the stormwater lesson, that it wasn't just stormwater from the city of Tampa, that, you know, all of the ponds that are connected, and that if one location is somehow blocked, that it literally can, you know, flood neighborhoods. I was up in the helicopter, flew over Al Lopez Field, and you wouldn't even have known that was a park except for the trees. It was flooded, and it was because one of the drains was clogged up. As soon as that was unclogged, within an hour, it all dissipated. So I think that's the biggest lesson. Also, I hate to admit, the first time I've heard in my entire life, someone said, if you have a Florida driver's license, you should have flood insurance. I know that unfortunately a lot of individuals in our community did not have flood insurance, were not in flood zones, and their homes were flooded as a result of the stormwater. And our watershed report, we would assume that hurricanes pose the biggest danger to our community, but it's extreme rain events. Extreme rain events are what are the most dangerous aspect for our community, and so we have to prepare for those rain events and to be able to disperse that water. And stormwater systems are only made for a certain amount of water to get that out of the area, a certain amount of water in a certain amount of time. So I think that's probably the biggest lesson.
Along those lines, Mayor, when you talked about lessons learned, you mentioned group pickup, team assignments, then you also mentioned sort of the need to be fluid and adaptable. Are you able to elaborate on that? Any examples or specific examples in that regard?
Well, be fluid and adaptable. Our teams are always like, we have the individuals, the teams set in 3 geographic locations at schools, and they are what we call our push crews, and they have everybody. They have TICO with them. They have first responders. They have all the machinery, so they're the ones that are out clearing the paths if, you know, in the aftermath of a storm. And so we're already ready to, or we are prepared to respond to anything that comes up, because as I said before, you can't control what's happening during a storm. So we are prepared in those areas. A couple of the things that we're focusing on now clearly are the generators for some of our stormwater pumps, but there comes a time when those will be overwhelmed or can be overwhelmed by rainwater. And then for our wastewater locations too, we tried on our largest pumping station right down next to the river. We put up a tiger dam around that, and it was supposed to take 4 hours to put that up with the Army Corps of Engineers, and like 24 hours later we finally got it up. So our wastewater team went to a different solution of blocking off all of the entries to that location. And so just looking at innovative solutions like the aqua fence, those types of things, generators. We've raised pumps in a lot of our wastewater stations. We also, as I said, got generators for our stormwater pumps, and then raising the electrical panels, those types of things. Now, keep in mind that all of these activities or actions cost multi-millions of dollars. And so there's a level at which you can prepare for stormwater. And there was no place in the world that could have dispelled the water from Milton quick enough to avoid flooding.
I think, I mean, you've been here a long time. You've prepared for many hurricane seasons. Just curious if you're comfortable sharing. Are you preparing or doing anything different? Or thinking of anything different than even you have in the past?
Yes, I am. I've actually purchased all of the little lanterns. You pull up battery-operated lanterns. Anybody who lost their electricity during Helene or Milton, which I was one of them, those things are just a lifesaver. And then the gas tanks. I've already filled up my gas tanks in anticipation. I actually have a little 5,500 home generator, which is kind of unusual because I'm never at home during the hurricanes. But all of my neighbors, I can tell you a 5,500 watt generator can handle 5 refrigerators from homes. So all my neighbors hook up to my generator. But those are the kind of things, getting your kit together, just making sure you have the things, the water, the food, the things that you need ahead of time. You can get this weekend, and you don't have to wait till the last minute when the shelves are bare. And I've also told everybody back here that as much as I love each and every one of them, I hope I don't see them for the next couple of months. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody.